everybody. It's 3 p.m. and boy, do I have a great tip to share with you today about how to brown, pan-seared, bone-in chicken thighs and chicken breasts. You know, you can never quite get the browning on chicken to be even, but did I learn an incredible tip, and I'm so excited to share it with you. I also have another tip to share with you about how about when this is just a vase, and can't even talk. I'm getting ready to peel these onions and other vegetables, and the trick is to take just a regular vase, put a produce bag on the inside, put all your garbage right in there, tie up the vase, the bag, and throw it right in the garbage can. So that's one of the tips that I have for you today. Hey, Lisa Bigelow, so nice to see you. Thanks for joining me today. We are doing a tip on bone-in chicken breasts and chicken thighs, how to pan, sear, and brown them perfectly. Hey, Sherry Brasa, thanks for being here. Let's get started. So let's turn over here and let's take a look. Hey, Heather, nice to see you. Thank you for being here. I see Lisa is here, so thank you for bringing her along. So over here are chicken thighs, and that's what we're going to be pan-searing today. I'm trying to get this in the shot. I'm sorry about the dog in the background. There's probably a UPS guy that just came to the front door, so he'll hush in a minute, especially if I yell at him, which I don't want to do. Okay, Biggie, that's it. There you go. How's that? So we're going to we have blotted these dry. Biggie, stop. It's okay. It's okay. Go, say goodnight. Go upstairs. Sorry. You do not want to listen to that for the entire way. So what we're going to do is we're going to spray these. We blotted them dry. We rinsed them and blotted them dry with a paper towel. We're going to spray just a little bit of the avocado oil because we're going to do a very high heat. I've started to heat up a cast iron skillet, and I'm going to continue to heat it just a little more. You want to heat up your cast iron skillet as much as you possibly can. Most people claim that you should put it into an oven at about 400 degrees for about 10 minutes and then pull it out and then put it on the fire. But cast iron is known for heating very evenly. And so as a consequence, I find that just going ahead and heating it on the burner is perfectly fine. So that's what we're doing here. We're going to take this and we are going to just simply put on a little bit of kosher salt. You know, everything kind of starts the same with the kosher salt. Fresh ground pepper right here. Here we go. And I like to sprinkle sweet smoked paprika on the skin of these chicken thighs or chicken breasts because the paprika assists in the browning. So how many of you have ever used the sweet paprika? Just tell me. Just hit me with a 1 when you have made your chicken breasts or chicken thighs, because that truly adds a great and more perfect browning, because this turns the butter and the olive oil very, very nice and brown in a reddish golden color. So we're just adding that both for flavor, but mostly for the great browning. So let me grab some butter, because everything starts with a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of olive oil. So let me turn you around so I can feel the heat starting to come off this skillet. So let's do that. Let's feel that just a minute while I grab the butter and while I grab the olive oil. There we go. Okay. You know, I'm in this house by myself right now, and it's kind of cool. I have just you that I'm talking to, which feels really great. My husband and son went off to a business meeting. Hey, Leanne Berger, Hunt, nice to see you. Thank you for being here. So here I am just alone. The house is so quiet. There's not a mouse that you can hear in this house. It's just so quiet. And I just have all of you, and I'm kind of loving that moment. So thank you for being here with me. So I'm adding a tablespoon and a half, it looks like, of unsalted butter. And it is starting to really sizzle in this pan because I got this pan nice and hot. I'm going to add also And also that butter now is going to brown because the pan is so hot, which is another trick to getting the skins on this. You can see the steam coming up. Now, this is the pot of the gypsy stew that we made yesterday. And I am going to wipe the bottom of this pot with a paper towel, and you probably are wondering why I'm going to do that, but you're going to love it when I tell you why. Here we go. Let's just wipe the bottom of this pot. Now, normally in this pot, I would place 3 large cans of tomatoes. Hey, Sandy Hammergren, thanks for being here. Good to see you again. I love it when you show up. So I'm wiping the bottom of this huge Dutch oven. And this butter is starting to brown. So let's get these thighs in. So watch this trick. We're going to take these thighs here and we're going to put them skin side down right into the pan, getting nice and hot. Okay. And watch this trick. Place them correct. Smells delish. Okay, there we go. Now, here is the trick. Watch this. Let me rinse my hand because I never like to have anything that is poultry juice anywhere near me. Get that all off. So you can see this is sizzling, but the key to this is to not turn them. You don't want to turn them. You want to leave them like this, but they will not cook evenly unless you do this. Watch this. We're going to take this pot, which, let me show you, has all of this in it from yesterday, and it's very, 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 very heavy. Okay, ready? We're going to take this, and we're literally going to place this heavy pot. I bet you didn't see that coming, right? And this heavy pot is right on top of those chicken thighs on the skillet. And that is putting pressure on them in order to keep them nice and hot. Now I am going to heat up the stew tonight for dinner anyway as a side vegetable dish accompaniment to the chicken thighs. So it's just really quite amazing. And this is going to keep them tight to the bottom. The skin is going to continue to brown and get really nice and crispy. And then we're going to season the back side. We're going to set a timer for about, let's call it 7 minutes. Hey Siri, set the alarm for 7 minutes. There you go. How's that? Okay, so in 7 minutes that'll go off, but you didn't see that coming either. And Sherry says, yeah, great tip, I know. I was so excited when I realized this tip, and I can hardly wait to share it with you. So let me get a pair of tongs, because we're going to be turning them in just a minute. There we go. All right, I am back. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cut these onions. So again, I put a plastic bag into this glass vase, and all the trash that I cut, I am going to put into that little plastic bag that's being held up by the vase. So here's my question. We were talking yesterday about the Happy Refrigerator, and everybody was chiming in. Hey, Sue Plattner, glad to have you here. I love it when all our regulars show up. I miss you guys, and I notice when you're here, and I notice when you're not, so I love it when you show up. Thank you for being here. We were talking about the Happy Fridge. Yesterday, I can't remember, Heather said something in her refrigerator that she always has. I don't remember what Heather said. I wrote it down upstairs. And Jennifer Tuttle said champagne mustard in the refrigerator. And I'm just wondering, will all of you tell me what are a few things that you absolutely cannot live without in your refrigerator that you grab all the time? So I often say that in the Southwest here in Las Vegas, you have to have things in the refrigerator that up in the north, or like in Seattle where it's nice and cool and rainy and has cool weather all year long, you don't necessarily have to put things in the refrigerator, but here you most definitely do. So tell me, what is it that you have to have in your refrigerator because you reach for it very frequently when you're making a recipe. And today, this recipe, I call it the garbage refrigerator recipe, meaning that if I don't get these things out of my refrigerator and get them into some dish for tonight, they are going to end up in the garbage because they've just been in the refrigerator for too long, and it's now or never. So I have these onions that have been in there. I have garlic that I picked up at the market a few days ago. Let me show you what else I have. I have a jicama that I picked up just a few days ago, but even in the refrigerator, it's starting to get dimples in the skin. And I'm not going to cook this tonight, but tomorrow I'm going to make jicama fries, so you can tune in. And I'm going to also, because it's Thursday and it's always breakfast for dinner on Thursday, I am going to make shakshuka. So I hope you join me for that. And I'm making it out of the frozen shakshuka and the frozen pasta sauce that I made a couple weeks ago. And it's also time to get those out of the freezer and make them and leave room for what I might make next. So I hope you join me for that. So I don't see anybody typing. What do you have in your refrigerator that you cannot live without? So as we wait, the alarm will go off soon. I'm just going to dice these onions just a little bit. Take about 3 at a time and dice them up. I also have some dill, if you can see. So I have dill that has been in the refrigerator for just a little bit too long that I sliced up. I have ginger. I have about 1/4 of a bag of cauliflower, and I have some thyme. And these things, I don't want to wait another day to cook because they've been in that refrigerator for a little bit long enough since the beginning of the week, and it's time to do something with them. And even though I have no exact recipe that I'm following, I am just going to make it up as I go. And here's the risk that I'm taking. It's either going to end up really good or it's going to end up not so good. But I don't know how you can go wrong if you are using these kinds of flavors because they're so fantastic. So anybody voting on whether it's going to turn out really good or not so good? What do you think? Hey, Susan Mendorf. Nice to see you. I love it when you show up. All the regulars, as I said, are showing up. So right now I am pan-searing chicken thighs that have the bone in. And the key to that is that right now I have literally placed a Dutch oven stock pot on top of these chicken thighs. And why have I done that? I've done that. The stock pot is filled with soup that is very heavy, a vegetarian soup from yesterday. And, whoop, my phone went out, sorry about that. And it's very heavy. Now, if I did not have this fill and already very, very heavy, what I would have done is filled this stock pot. I would have put a paper towel on the bottom and taken the 32-ounce can of tomatoes, probably 2 of them or 3 if they would fit, and that would have weighted down the stock pot. But lucky me, I had the stew, this vegetable stew already in there. So I'm going to serve these thighs with the vegetable stew, a lot of vegetables. My husband and son and I have been juicing and cleansing our body which we do about once a month, so you frequently will hear me saying that. We get ourselves just feeling in tip-top, and we start out always feeling the month very healthy and strong. Get rid of all the toxins, and certainly it helps us to get rid of all the sugar. Whatever sugar we may have picked up along the way. As you know, I don't eat sugar during the year at all. I will during Christmas. Can't help myself, and certainly during Hanukkah, because I will not, there my alarm went off, I will not have a donut on Hanukkah. It's my thing. But other than that, I've sworn off sugar. But it does come in so many things that you don't expect. So let's take the stock pot right off of here. There we go. We're going to take, oh, you should see it. And look at how beautiful and brown. Look at that. See that? Nice and brown. really quite lovely. You can see the butter is brown. We're going to sprinkle now this side with salt. We're going to sprinkle it with pepper. It's time for me to grind some more pepper. I didn't realize I was to the bottom of it, so I'm just going to use this as fresh ground. Because as you know, I grind my own pepper all the time. And we're just going to sprinkle on just a little bit because it's not so important that the back side of these are brown as the front. So we'll just sprinkle on a little bit of the sweet paprika. Okay. And we are ready to turn these. So let's see how this looks. Ready? Ah, look at that. You see that? Look at how beautiful and brown. Okay. Love that. See that? And look how beautiful that is. And it smells divine because we've got the paprika. Oh, look at this. Now this is what you call crispy chicken thighs. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh, such a great tip. Don't you agree? Okay. Let's go. Oh, this one not so much. We're going to put it right back in the center. Must have been kind of off. Okay. And while that continues, now there's no reason to weight it down. While that continues, I'm going to finish chopping this onion and the garlic. Did I get the garlic out? I'm not sure if I did. Garlic is behind me, so I will grab that garlic. There we go. So I'm getting more excited and more excited and more excited about the idea that very soon my backyard is going to be done. We have just a few things left to do. We've ordered the furniture. The furniture is absolutely gorgeous. Yesterday, we put up what I call the ugly fence because, and actually I've been calling it the ugly fence for so long that when it went up, it wasn't near as ugly as my expectation. But we have a grandson who's only a year old, and now that the pool is done and now that he's starting to walk, for the next 4 years, until he is 100% old enough and pool safe, we have put a removable pool fence into the backyard. And the really great thing, I've got butter splattered here, about the backyard as having this pool fence is it's a no-drill pool fence. Hey there, Cynthia. It's a hey, Jennifer Tuttle, I was talking about your champagne mustard today. The pool fence is no drill, so in 4 years when I call the pool man and say, take out this fence, our beautiful tile is still going to look beautiful. So if you're just joining us, we are making these chicken thighs. I had placed this big stock pot filled with, I don't want this to go tilting over, filled with this, which made it very heavy, on top of the bone-in chicken thighs, which is how and why they got so crispy. So if you can see how crispy brown they got. This one didn't get too brown, but it's brown now. And as these saute down, I'm going to add some onion in here, just all around. So what I've actually done is created a recipe by looking into my refrigerator and saying, what is in this refrigerator that absolutely needs to get into a meal so that it doesn't end up into the garbage. And I determined that these onions have been there for a while, while they're still nutritious. And when I say a while, because I shop every day, I shop every week, but these have been in there 3 days or so. I'm going to put in those onions. I am going to put in some garlic, so I'm going to chop some garlic. I'm going to put in, before I put it into the oven, some fresh dill, because this was looking like the leaves, part of the leaves had started getting kind of watery. I'm going to put in some fresh thyme to have this in the fridge since Super Bowl. I've got a bag of this cauliflower left that I'm going to throw in at the bottom, and the juices from the butter and the chicken are going to go into the rice cauliflower, which I think is going to be great. And I have some ginger. So let's take a vote. How many of you think that those flavors are going to meld very well together and I'm going to have a great dinner? Or how many of you think that we're all going to start laughing and say that did not work out so well? Because it's one or the other. And you never really know until you try unless you're following a recipe. My goal for all of you, actually, is to help you cook with instinct. Hey, Teresa, you're here. I'm so glad. Missed you. Is to help you begin to cook with instinct. It's the most important thing. So in my cooking course, we have one class that's called the No Recipe Recipe, meaning you are going to go to your grocery store, you're going to look at what is fresh, what appeals to you, not what appeals to me for where I'm living, but what appeals to you. And you're going to buy it. And then you're going to come back and you're going to use your instincts, maybe ask me for a little help or suggestion along the way in the cooking course that day, depending on how many are in it. And you're going to make a recipe. And you're going to gain confidence and you're going to love what you've made. And from there, you will probably be able to do it again and again and again. So I'm very, very happy to tell you about that. And I'm very happy to do a no recipe today, because this recipe is basically everything that's in my refrigerator that needs to go. So I'm going back to Laguna next week. I'm going to be visiting, that's why another reason why I need to get everything out of my refrigerator. I need to be visiting Cynthia once again. And we have some farms that we are going to visit. We have Farmer Joe and his wife, who grows just about everything. And then we have another farm on the way to Farmer Joe's where they grow strawberries. So I've actually never been to a strawberry farm or a strawberry field. And I'm very excited to do so. So where else? Are we going to a lavender farm? And we're not sure. If the lavenders are in bloom, it will really be something to see. But if they're not in bloom, we might not go until the next time that I'm there. Hey, Nancy Holland, thank you for joining us. So today we're doing pan-seared chicken thighs, bone-in. And I showed a great tip, Nancy, if you missed it, of placing the skin side down in lavender is in bloom, so we won't be doing that. Thank you. Placing these chicken thighs skin side down, and what I did is I took this heavy Dutch oven pot filled with tonight's vegetable stew, and I placed it right on top of the chicken, which helped that skin just flatten out, and it really got a beautiful, beautiful sear on it. And so that was my little tip and trick for the day. Now I'm actually encouraging you to do a no recipe, which is go into your kitchen and into your refrigerator and take a look at what is in there and what needs to be cooked, what needs to go into the pan so that it doesn't end up in the garbage, right? There's this fine line between, yes, today I can get it into the pan, it's looking okay, and tomorrow I may not take it. So as an example, this ikema has only been in the refrigerator for the last, I don't know, I think since Sunday. And it is just, you know, it starts getting dimpled and these little brown spots start coming. And I can promise you that if I don't cut this by tomorrow, that I won't cut it. I'll just go, nope, I'm not going there. I'm just going to end up throwing it in the garbage can. And it's very heavy, and the cost per pound is quite high, and I don't want to do that. So I am committed to making ikema fries tomorrow with a shakshuka that I'm going to be making. So I hope you join me for that. My shakshuka is being made from what I made for the pasta sauce, the saute pan in lasagna. I had leftover meat sauce, and I'm going to make a shakshuka out of that. So that's been in the freezer. So let me turn you here. We're going to throw the garlic in right now. So you never really want your garlic to cook too much. You want to always put it in towards the end, otherwise it starts to burn. And burnt garlic is nobody's favorite. So here, let me do that. Okay, oh, it smells divine. It smells absolutely divine. And so now one of the other things I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ginger. Now, ginger is a new flavor that I have been experimenting with. And this ginger, I am actually going to put the skin in as well. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to rasp this right on top of the chicken. I think this is going to give this a great spice. We made a miso ginger chicken thighs, and the flavor, the use of this flavor of this ginger was just really fantastic, and I really truly loved it. So we're just rasping it just enough. It's grating, and it's just not too much, but just enough to give it a flavor that maybe we're just not used to playing with, not used to having in our food. And it really opens up the senses when suddenly you taste something that is unexpected and that you're not used to dealing with. So here we go. Let's move this around. Doesn't that look amazing? Can you see it okay? All right, there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this into a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes. But we're also going to add chicken broth to it. So one of the reasons, let me rinse this really quick. Hold on, I'm coming, I'll be right there. Okay. We're gonna take these chicken thighs real quickly and just take them out. So much of the juices and the butter, and we're taking them out so that we can put in this cauliflower. So there we go. Putting them right over here. Okay, so can you see this? You can see this. Now look at how fantastic that looks. There we go. The juices of the chicken have gotten in there, the butter, the olive oil, and it just looks absolutely divine. And we're going to take this bag of the rice cauliflower, and we're just going to open that up and just pour it right in there. And we're going to saute this around with the onion and the garlic, butter, juices. There we go. The ginger is in here. Look at that. We're going to give that a minute to soften up for us. There we go. We're going to take half the dill. Here's the dill that we cut up. And we're just going to sprinkle half that dill right over the top of that. So we've got dill and ginger. Oh my gosh, you should just smell that. That smells absolutely divine. Hey Doug Eisher, you snuck in. I didn't see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining Gather with Nanny Bubby. That's our Facebook group. We have a lot of fun in there. So I'm actually going to be posting in there right after the show. Frequently I add recipes to that. There we go. Look at that. Is that gorgeous? Look at that. So at this point, what we're going to do, because the cauliflower has softened, we don't want it to get too mushy. We're going to turn off the fire. There we go. And we're going to take the chicken thighs. I'll put them right here. We're going to add them right back on top. Look at that. Doesn't that look absolutely divine? Oh, so good. It smells so wonderful. The ginger, you're just smelling something that you have no idea what it is you're smelling. There we go. Okay. And now, what we're going to do is we're going to add chicken stock. And we're going to put this in the oven, uncovered. Chicken stock will start to evaporate. There we go. And just a little more. But I find that chicken thighs don't cook as well. I forgot that I had this partially used, so I wanted to get that into the bowl. And so we filled this up about 3/4 of the way. There we go. And we're gonna sprinkle just a little bit of the, so when this comes out of the oven, I'm probably going to grate just a little bit of ginger back on the top and certainly a little bit of dill. I actually don't think that it should take much time. I think it would conflict. I think the dill is enough, strong enough. I'm not feeling like I should be putting time into it. And what we're gonna do is preheat the oven to about 400 degrees. I will put this into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. I'm gonna take the vegetable stew that we made yesterday and heat that up. And so we are going to have a break fast because we really have been cleansing and fasting. I can smell that dill, it's amazing. For the last 3 or 4 days. And this is gonna be a really light break fast dinner. So that's it for today. I encourage you to go to nannybubby.com/spices and download your Happy Spice Cabinet guide. If you haven't already, it's there waiting for you. Thank you so much. My goal is to make everybody so happy in the kitchen, to inspire cooking. Many of us love to cook or want to love to cook and just haven't found our path in the kitchen. And if I'm inspiring you at all, and if there is anybody at all that you feel that you would like to share this episode with, then when it posts on the Nanny Bubby page, either tag them, tag one person, or share on your own Facebook page. It would be helpful. The funny thing is that for me, because I actually was going to tag all of you that come every day as regulars, I was going to tag all of you to let you know that I was standby on giving you a tip for browning chicken thighs. But I found out I could not tag any of you, and I didn't know why. And the reason why is that on a business page, you cannot tag individuals, and Nanny Bubby is a business page. Marla Letitia is my personal page, and then Gather with Nanny Bubby is the group. And I suppose I could have tagged all of you there, but I tried for 20 minutes to tag you on the Nanny Bubby page, and I cannot tag individuals. I can only tag businesses, but you can share this with anybody, and you can tag a friend or friends or anybody that you want. If you feel that you have learned something from this episode and there's just one person that you could share it with, then I encourage you to do it. The algorithms of Facebook will keep me and allowing me in to do these lives for you every day if they see new people coming in. And if they don't, yes, Heather shares me all the time. That's why I see new people popping up that I know you. So thank you so much, Heather. But I'm not sure about the others. So I really encourage you, if I inspire you, to invite others to join us every day. Hey, Ava, nice to see you, Eva. Thank you for being here. And Sue Mendor, thank you. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. Well, everybody, I will get a picture of this, maybe as it's in the oven, and I will show the stew along with it, and we're going to have a great night. I thank you all for coming here. You inspire me every day to keep going. And so on the count of 3, all of us together, 1, 2, 3, go out and spread love like butter. Thank you all for being here, everybody. See you tomorrow.